often, but not always, we are going to fashion experiments in such a way that the outcomes of the experiments are themselves numbers. Just as a baseline example, we could think of the rolling of a die as a case of this, right? You roll a single die and observe what comes up. Well, if a 1 comes up, then a 1 came up, right? 1 is a number. Very often, what random variable are you going to associate with that outcome? Rolls a 1. Well, very often, you're going to assign the random variable 1 to rolls a 1. And so you could be asking the highly sensible question, why have random variables at all? They both basically boil down to flexibility. Let's say I am a casino and I say, well, I take whatever the roll of the die is and I multiply it by 10 and subtract 3. And that's the payout. So if somebody rolls a 1, I multiply 1 by 10, and that's 10, minus 3 is 7. 7 is what I pay out, and so on and so forth. So I now get the flexibility to define the terms and define the games however I want, even if numbers were what triggered the random variable to take on whatever value it was to begin with. And the other case, as long as we're talking about sort of simple experiments, is when we're dealing with things that are non-numeric in nature. So suppose it was the flip of a coin. Well, there's heads and there's tails. Neither heads nor tails is a number, right? But I could say, well, if a head comes up, then you gain $1. And if a tail comes up, you lose $1. So the random variable associated with heads is +1, and the random variable associated with tails is -1. Well, there's really no way to do that unless you're dealing with random variables. When it all comes out, we are going to find that random variables are highly useful tools that are going to allow us to see and understand our problems and answer our questions in a way that is simply impossible to do so without those random variables.